So our code of conduct's quite sort of basic, quite simple. It's things that we'd expect most people to appreciate anyway. But obviously teamwork, we are a team, so we'd sort of, it's asked that we all support and respect each other in our comments. Honesty, obviously that we all act honestly and maintain the integrity of the organisation. So again, that sort of comes back to things like no violence or getting particularly fiery about your personal opinions. In everything that you do with SAV, you're trying to represent the charity. Being responsible, so you're trying to, again, represent the charity and reflect our values, the values of the charity in your actions. That's both when you're doing SAV events and outside SAV events. Equality, so treat all the people in the organisation and interact with them as equals, and dedicated, so ensure that the memory of Lloyd lives on through our work, and that we're dedicated to achieving our aims. There was something on health and safety. We as a charity have insurance and public liability. So if you're on official SAV events, so if you've been asked to manage a stand or something like that, you're insured under us. We usually carry out a risk assessment if it's an event that's, we're doing an activity or something. But remember, it is still heavily personal responsibility, and you're responsible for your actions. And obviously, if you're setting up an event yourself, you'll have full support from us, but again, remember that you're taking responsibility for that event. So if you want to have like a get-together or something with friends, if that suddenly turns into a rave and you're all arrested for being drunk and disorderly, no. I know what your parties are like, Irene. Okay. So that's just to make you aware of that. ID badges, we're going to do ID badges for everybody that volunteers for us. So basically, when you're doing SAV events, then you'll have your ID badge, which will have your picture on it and an expiry date. So each one will be valid for a year, and we'll keep it on file and give you a new one. Because a lot of volunteers, you'll have things happen in your life, you'll move on, or you might stay until you're 80. I don't know. I never know. But we'll just sort of renew them, because it's the same as trustees. People can step down or apply after a year. So obviously the ID badges just ensure that you have your ID badge at any authorised event. The same with branded clothing. Branded clothing we're now going to hand out at each event and then collect back in afterwards. So we're going to sort of be more strict on branding and where branding's used. If you do sponsored events, we do tend to be a bit more relaxed on the sponsored events, because people that have run for us in the marathons, we've given t-shirts to, but the t-shirts for sponsored events and running and cycling and all of that, they're specific. They say supporting Stand Against Violence. And obviously to be able to collect those back in when somebody's running a marathon in Liverpool or Bristol is just a nightmare. So they're very clearly full sponsored events, so we don't get our knickers in a twist about that.